Congress called the Medical Debt Responsibility Act. Many of our leaders in Congress realize that the bill that I have proposed, an idea that could really help people, cost the American taxpayer not one penny, costs the federal government not one penny, creates jobs, and also helps the housing market, because what people are being affected by, and the major problem in people's credit, it's medical bills. And it will be a $100 medical bill that makes it to your credit, drops your credit score 100 points, and then all of a sudden there are big ramifications from having that. And I have a very special guest to start off the show this morning. His name is Kevin Andrews, and Kevin contacted me just this past week and said, Rodney, I've read your book, I listened to your radio show. Please tell me how the medical debt bill is doing in Congress. Because last year it passed in the U.S. House 336 to 82, and we just ran out of time in the Senate. Now we're back in the House. It's bipartisan. In fact, yesterday, presidential candidate Ron Paul announced he would be co-sponsoring the bill. But every day I see firsthand what's going on in the economy, and I call my office a working laboratory of people. And I see people have medical collections on their credit report. I did a research study out of 5,100 people that applied for a loan in 10 months. 2,200 of them had at least one medical collection, and the average person had 4.8 medical collections, which is $10,200. So Kevin contacts me this week and tells me his story. And I'd like to bring in Kevin Andrews because he is what a stereotype of what's going on in our country. I want to, because good-looking guy, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
Dresses professionally, okay? Very well educated.
Right.
But all of a sudden, recently, Kevin's life changed. And Kevin's financial life changed, and we'll go through the importance of it. But tell us what happened, Kevin.
Sure. My son, I have 3 boys in high school, and they're great. And one of them was out with his girlfriend, stopped at a light, got hit from behind. And so the car got banged up pretty bad. And he called me, and he said, hey, we got in an accident, and they've already taken his girlfriend to the hospital. And I got my car and ran over and checked on him. And the car was banged up pretty good. And he got put in the ambulance and went to the hospital, and I followed him, and we had him checked out. And thank God, they're both great.
Yes.
Great, right? So they both got through it okay, and they're fine. And I had knee surgery a month or so before, and so the house is getting flooded with medical bills. And half of them say, this is not a bill, this is a bill, and I'm doing the best I can, right?
I hate that. You don't know.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. And a regular bill, we track them like, they're more important than I am, right? This one, I get a collection call saying, hey, your bill hasn't been paid, so I start chasing it, right? So I'm concerned. And I explain to them, under no circumstances can this go to my credit. My job requires that I keep a good credit score.
What do you do for a living?
I work as the president of the Matrix Group, mid-sized material compounding business. And so...
and why is it so important for your credit?
Well, the nature of my role is that I lead a privately held organization, and they go through the sale process every 3 to 5 years. And so you're looking for that next opportunity every 3 to 5 years, kind of like when I was with GE and would move frequently. So
how often did you move with GE?
I had 5 different houses during my 15 years with GE. Yeah,
goodness.
So you get good at it. I travel light is probably the best way to put it. But I'd like to think I figured out that I'm going to continue to buy houses. I have 2 now. One I'd like to refinance. But I'm stuck. I had decent credit, and
not just decent credit. You paid all your bills on time.
Yeah, for 15 years I've not missed a car payment, a house, or a credit card, and so I was doing all right. And now I've got this one that came up and bit me, and when I looked into it, I had 2 of them, and they said, hey, we'll put you on a payment plan, and every month while you're in dispute, you pay that monthly fee, and this will keep you from going to the report. No problem. 20 days later, I get a report. It went. That's what I had to call, and I had spoken to him 4 or 5 times. Hospital, collection agent, the whole thing. And now the gentleman who ran into my son, his insurance was paying for it. Right. So they paid to fix my car, and they were going to pay his medical bills.
Thankfully there.
Right, exactly. So 2 of them didn't get taken care of. And so I called him. I said, hey, I will pay these today if I have to keep it off my credit. No, you can pay a partial fee. And I thought, okay, well, shame on me. I should have paid it. But shame on me. I went with I'll pay a monthly fee while I go through this. And one bit me. So now I'm at the point where one has been recorded. I'm probably looking at a hit of 100 points, 100 plus. And it was all for a few $100s.
Well, and one of the things is when your son got in the accident, goes in the ambulance, goes to the hospital, did you get a list of detailed doctors of who worked on him?
No.
Did you get a detailed bill when you walk out of there?
No paperwork. We got no paperwork when we left.
So all of a sudden it's pay this bill, don't pay this bill. Right. In fact, on one of the notices, you had an overpayment.
Yeah, I got a check in the mail the other day for $189, and I haven't cashed it yet. It's like I'm spooked. It's like yeah, do I pay it? And I said, no, you overpaid, and so no one's giving me extra points because I overpaid. But between that and not knowing what's coming and going on what we really owe, and I got to the point where I detail them all out line item to say, did I miss anything? And I missed 2.
So if you go, for example, and you pay your mortgage on time, if you pay it on time, you get a good mark.
Right.
And you know if you pay it late, you're going to get a negative mark.
Right.
Same thing on credit cards, car loans.
Right.
See, what's different, Kevin, about medical billing is if you make the $5 payment plan or the $55 payment plan, they don't report to the credit bureaus if it's good. It's only if it's negative. Mm-hmm. And what these companies will do is they will turn you over to collections within 120 days.
Sure.
Well, you're still dealing with the insurance company of the gentleman that hit your son.
Right.
You're still dealing with him during that period of time, because how long ago did they hit your son?
It was a couple months back.
Also recently.
Yeah, it's all within this year. And then I also assumed the best thing they can do is buy it at a reduced rate and get paid in full. So I explained to them, I'll pay you the full amount.
Yeah.
So I figured at last someone's going to call me and say, hey, you said you'd pay, we'd love you to pay. Otherwise, we're going to send it over. And then obviously I would have done it.
And you're an educated person.
Yeah.
I should think so.
You know,
Right.
I mean, you're
Yes.
president of a company.
Sure.
You've worked for General Electric in the past.
Yep.
General Electric, Jeff Immelt is the chairman of the board, and also he is
the job czar. Yeah.
He's the job czar for President Obama.
Yeah.
So he wants to help create jobs.
Right.
And all of a sudden, so you've done all these things, but tell a little bit about your education.
Yeah, I was educated up in the Boston market. I have a degree in plastics engineering, and I rolled into the plastics business at GE and ran with them for 15 years, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So I've got a good start, and I'd like to think my head's on straight.
Well, yeah, and our point with having you explain this is you don't fit the typical, because there's the stigma of the deadbeat, what the deadbeat is. You're not. You're an upstanding citizen. You're on paper. Hey, let's talk to you. You're an upstanding citizen. You're educated. I mean, all these things that you typically wouldn't find with what we're dealing with here.
So you didn't wake up that morning and say, hey, my son's going to be in an accident today.
No. Yeah, that's every day, right?
And so what I tell people is, we don't ask for sickness, we don't ask for illness, and we don't ask to be in accidents.
Right.
But all of a sudden your life changed, your son's life changed, and all of a sudden now your financial life changed at no fault of their own.
Right.
Well, and I want to bring in Paula real quick here in just a moment. And what I'd like to do is I want to bring in a lady that has been in the medical insurance billing business, because I want to discuss with her what typically happens. So this is Paula, everyone, and let's bring in Paula. Paula, good morning.
Good morning.
And Paula how long have you been in the medical insurance billing business?
15 years.
15 years. And you tell a little bit about what you do, what your responsibilities are, and what you see, because a lot of times these medical bills, a lot of them are a disaster waiting to happen to people like Kevin financially.
Correct. Basically, when a procedure happens, we have to bill, collect, and report, contact the insurance companies, things of that nature. So it's all a big process.
And is this a long process normally, or is it a short-term process?
No, it's not a long process. It's a fairly simple process if everything goes correctly. And by correctly, I mean you have to be able to understand what you're doing. You need to see what the claim is, and the doctor's handwriting comes into play there, the physician's handwriting. You have to be able to read what you're going to report.
So can you read those so do you see that being a major problem on some?
It's a huge problem. The issues of the doctor's handwriting.
So somebody's penmanship can hurt guys like Kevin.
Yeah, one number off is a whole different claim.